What's up, guys? This is Aiden, and basically, we're going to be starting the first episode of my podcast today. Just a Lazy Boy. Now, on this podcast, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. Actually, we're going to be talking about everything. We're going to be talking about basketball, sports in general, really. We're going to be talking about women, men, the problems that we all have, political issues, anime. We're going to be talking about everything. Anything that you want to know about, we're going to talk about it. Put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. That's just what we're going to do here, pretty much. But today we're going to start off with something that I think I know pretty well. Like, as a person, I think I know it pretty well. Talk about basketball. First thing I said, right? But specifically, we're going to be talking about Kevin Durant. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about how he wants to be traded. How he requested a trade to leave Brooklyn. Now, and personally, I don't give a fuck. Simple as that. I have a vendetta against Kevin Durant. I have a vendetta against Kyrie. And because they're on the Brooklyn Nets, I have a vendetta against Brooklyn. See, the funny thing about it, I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised. Born and raised, entire life. And I don't like the team. Or those players specifically, and they're the reason I don't like the team. That says a lot, doesn't it? But we're going to talk about Kevin Durant. We're going to talk about him as a person, not a person, as a player, him wanting to trade, him in general, like everything about Kevin Durant, more specifically about the trade, but just Kevin Durant as a player in general and his history and all that. But first, we're going to start out with this undisputed episode of Skip and Shannon Sharp. They made some pretty, I heard, they made some pretty good points and talking about the trade with the Celtics, that the offers and stuff. So we're going to watch that video, we're going to talk about it. So here we go.
Good Monday morning, everybody. We hope y'all had a fabulous weekend. Welcome into Undisputed.
Before we even start this, Skip Bayless and me, we're not cool. He doesn't like LeBron. He hates LeBron with a passion. And for some reason, he always seems to squeeze LeBron into any conversation. Like, I guarantee you, in this video, at least once, probably more than once, but I'm just going to say at least once, he's going to mention LeBron for some reason. Some dumbass reason, I'm just going to say. He's going to mention LeBron for some dumbass reason, and it's just not going to fit. So, watch. You'll see. You'll see.
I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Hi, guys. How are you today?
Good morning. It is a pleasure to be dedicating the majority of this show to the best player on the planet, Kevin Durant, as opposed to having it drone on and on about the phony goat, wherever LeBron is. I don't know.
We just started the video. What did I say? We literally just started, and he's already mentioning LeBron, calling him a phony goat. This man can't be serious. He's calling Kevin Durant. You know what? We're going to play the video. Wait.
It seems like people out of sight, out of mind. It seems like teams offering Tic Tacs and paper towels for your guy. Now what is it?
This is why I like Shannon. Damn straight. Tic Tacs and paper towels for Kevin Durant.
Sounds like landslides being offered. Whatever.
They missed the pound.
You guys getting ready
They
to
missed
go
the pound.
today? All right, Skip, let's jump right in. That KD trade saga continues. Reports from Woj and Sham Charania say the Boston Celtics offered a package centered around All-Star forward Jaylen Brown. Shams also reports Brooklyn wants Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart, another rotation player, draft picks, as well as Jaylen Brown in any type of deal for KD. That is a haul. Shannon, can you realistically see this deal getting done?
Yes, and I was ahead of the curve.
You don't think that's too much for the guy? Like, I understand. Okay, I understand Kevin Durant is a great player. Like, he scores a lot of points. Offensively, great player. Maybe not defensively, but offensively, we know the guy can score. The guy can drop buckets. He can drop 40 any game. But Jesus Christ, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, two role players, and draft picks? Come on. The guy just got swept to this exact team. You're gonna trade away your entire team. Well, not entire team. They got a deep squad. Celtics got a deep squad. But you're gonna trade away you're, in my opinion, Jaylen Brown, the best player on that team for KD, the guy you just swept, I think they have a better chance of just keeping the team that they have. They might have a better chance with Kevin Durant, but the guy just got you. Just swept them. If he couldn't beat you guys before, what makes you think adding him to your team is going to make you that much better? You know what I'm saying? And you're taking away your defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart. So it's like, I don't know.
If you go back and look at
We're ahead of the Golden State.
Go back and look at my timeline on Twitter. Look it up. I bet you $100 grand. I proposed a package around Jaylen Brown the moment Kevin Durant requested a trade. Go look it up on Twitter.
You've been just adamant. He's
eyes.
going to Golden State.
I love Shannon Sharp.
Even though Jaylen Brown is a 25-year-old all-star, I
Yes.
still believe Golden State. And you see the package that they asked for Golden State. They asked for Jordan Poole, Moody, Wiseman, and Andrew Wiggins, and 3 first-round draft picks. And Golden State said, "Nah, bro, y'all must be think we Minnesota."
Yeah, I heard what he's just about to say. But, god damn. The Warriors just won the championship without Kevin Durant. Mind you, everyone thought it was over. Warrior dynasty is over. They're gone. No. Warriors are not, they're done. They're never winning again. Oh my god, they needed Kevin Durant to win. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? They won. They won is what happened. They won without Kevin Durant. And what did Kevin Durant do in the same season? Guess what? I'm gonna mention that sweeping like 300 more times in this podcast. This episode, I swear to God. Swear to God. They won. And they're gonna ask for all that? That's their whole young core. Nah. I'm good. I'll keep a team I have. If I'm the Warriors, I'll keep the team I have.
Somebody
Who reported that?
It was in the. You didn't see that in the paper?
I didn't see that
I got
paper.
I got. You know,
I gotta get that paper. I subscribe to that.
Yes, that was the report. Now I don't know if it's true, Skip, but you know people throwing out reports and they said Golden State said no. But I thought early on, Skip,
I would have said no.
Jaylen Brown package. I thought Jaylen Brown smart, maybe Grant Williams and some draft picks. But the question was, is that still enough? Skip, at some point in time, it's also been reported that Kevin Durant's mind has not changed. It has nothing to do with Kyrie. It has nothing to do with anything other than he's tired of being in Brooklyn and he wants to move on. But if I'm Boston, I'm not gonna let Marcus Smart hold his deal up because I do believe while they'll be a little worse defensively, I think they'll be better offensively. So now you got wings of Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant. You still keep your rim protector in Robert Williams. You still got a Jack can do a lot of different things in Al Horford. And you got Brogdon, Skip, that you brought in to really man the point. So,
see, I can agree. I can agree with Shannon Sharp. They would be a crazy ass team. That team would be hard to beat. It would. That's still Jason Tatum. Kevin Durant's still a great offensive threat. Malcolm Brogdon, great player. Robert Williams and Al Horford, great players. And you got to remember, the Celtics picked up guys already. They picked up Danilo Gallinari, and I already mentioned Brogdon, but they picked up somebody else, I believe. They have a squad. Even if they trade Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, and probably Derek White, I think, and someone else, and some picks, they're still gonna have a squad, and they probably would still make it to the championship. Maybe. I'm not confident in Kevin Durant on that team, man. I'm serious. I can't. It reminds me too much of Kyrie on that team, and it just doesn't work out. But I understand. I could understand what Shannon is saying. It's not a horrible trade. It's not a horrible trade, but I don't know if I would do it. I just went to the championship, you know?
For me, I'm not going to let Marcus Smart, and I understand Marcus Smart is Defensive Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. He's a 28-year-old. He's a very good player. But I'm not going to let him hold this deal up, Skip. I'm sorry. I'm not. So if it's going to take Jaylen Brown, if it's going to take Marcus Smart, if it's going to take 3 first-round picks and possibly pick swaps and another rotational player, is that going to be Grant Williams? Possibly. Is it going to be Derek White?
Probably.
Possibly. But Skip, I'm not letting. I'm sorry. I'm not letting Marcus Smart hold this deal up if I got an opportunity to get Kevin Durant. And this is a Kevin Durant special.
If you can't beat him, join him. They got KD written all over them. Now what happened?
That's exactly what I was saying. Kevin Durant is just, he can't stay on the team, man. He can't. He's not the guy. He's not gonna stay. If times get tough, Kevin Durant is he's got to skedaddle. He's out of there. Kevin Durant is leaving. If times are tough and he's not winning, he's out. Just like Shannon just said, it's a Kevin Durant special. It's Kevin Durant special right there. He is out of there. He goes to the team that swept him. Does that sound familiar? I mean, the Warriors didn't sweep him, but they came back from a 3-1 lead and beat him before he get to the finals. So I think Kevin Durant has a little. I think he has a little pattern. I think he has a little pattern going on here.
The playoffs, go join the team that swept you, and let me, you know what I'm saying? He wants to win a title for Boston.
Oh man,
he wants to bring.
He does not. Kevin Durant cannot win by himself. He can't. I think even if he goes to Boston, they probably won't win the championship. They probably still won't win because it's not KD. That's just not him. He needs a super team.
Right before him, he succumbed to the pressure of the challenge that was right before him, and so he wants to take on someone else's challenge instead of finishing his own challenge. But for me, yeah, if I can get Brown, Smart, possibly Grant Williams, 3 first-round draft picks included with pick swaps, that seems like a good deal because it seems like, we're going to talk about this a little later, the Golden State seems like Bob Myers, they're starting to close the door and want to move on. But this was a pick, this was a trade that I proposed many, like a month ago. Now, look, he requested a trade, what, July, like early July? So it's been about 3 weeks. I'm on this, I'm in front of that one.
I love Shannon.
I just imagine day after day after day you beating me over the head with, he wants to go to Golden State. He's crawling.
He probably did want to go to Golden State. Let's be honest. We don't know the exact truth, but he just won the championship. He probably would do the same shit again. He'll be like, you know what? Maybe Golden State doesn't need me. Maybe I need Golden State. And he goes back to Golden State. I guarantee you they would win. That's one thing. If he did go to Golden State, they would win. I'm positive they would win the championship. I still wouldn't like it though. I wouldn't. But he probably does want to go to Golden State.
Back to the Domes. Baloney. There was never anything going on there. No.
So let me ask you a question. So you believe if Golden State said, you know what? Take Wiggins, take Wiseman, take Poole, take Kuminga, take Moody, the Nets would have said no to that trade.
Yes, they would have said
no.
No,
they would. No way.
Did I just imagine all the Golden State stuff, or help me out?
They would say no. They would say no to that trade. I swear to God, there's something wrong with Skip Bayless. Me and Skip Bayless. Skip, if you're watching this, we have a problem. Like, we don't agree on nothing. Cause, come on, son. They go Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, all them guys. They're not gonna accept that. All this shit that they're asking for from just the Celtics alone, they're not gonna accept that. And draft picks. Man, if you don't.
I don't know. I don't remember anything about Boston, but I don't read your Twitter.
Yeah. They're going to pull it up. They're going to pull it up and ask Skip Bayless so he can see it.
Did you ever bring it up on this show?
I did.
I don't remember.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Did you ever bring up Golden State on this show?
I did.
Or did I just imagine?
No, I brought up Golden State.
For like 4 straight weeks you brought up Golden State?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I still believe Golden State has a better package, even though Jaylen Brown is included in the Boston package.
Okay.
They definitely have a better package. Golden State has deep lineup. They have a deep lineup. They have a lot of players that they can give up. They have all their draft picks still. Yeah, they have the better package. Even though Jaylen Brown is a great player, he is a great player. I feel like the position that Brooklyn's in right now, with Kyrie and KD wanting to leave, they can't take a Jaylen Brown. You know, Jaylen Brown's not going to help them win. So they got to start looking to the future now. So they're going to get younger guys. Even though Jaylen Brown's pretty young. Jaylen Brown is pretty young, but they're going to get younger, cheaper. Let me be specific. Younger, cheaper guys so that in the future they can get better players. Because people want to come to New York. It's not the Knicks, but Brooklyn, they're going to want to come. So They do have the better pick.
My turn. I'm dug in on this. I'm not going to back off on this. Kevin Durant is going nowhere. I understand this offer.
That's one thing we can agree with. For right now, I don't think he's going anywhere right now. I give it a little bit longer. I still feel like the Nets are playing around with the teams, trying to see who could give them the most. But at some point, they're gonna get desperate. But for right now, Kevin Durant's not going nowhere. He's not right now.
Is legit. It's valid. It's enticing. I get all of the above. But in the end, you can have all those guys. You can even swap out Jason Tatum for Jaylen Brown in this deal. Do Jason Tatum plus Marcus Smart plus Grant Williams plus 3 future first-round unpredictable.
Nets would do the deal yesterday.
Okay, they would not, because you cannot.
What is wrong with this guy? Like, Shannon, this is why I love Shannon Sharp, because he actually sees the bullshit that Skip Bayless be saying. If Jason Tatum was put in that trade, just switch out Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, the Nets are taking Jason Tatum in a heartbeat, without a doubt. That's Jason Tatum. I feel like Jaylen Brown's better than Jason Tatum, because I think he did more in the playoffs and was a better player than Jason Tatum all of the playoffs. But the hype around Jason Tatum, like if this is 2K, Jason Tatum would have an equal amount of stars than Kevin Durant. He'll have 5 stars. He'll be a untouchable player. So, come on. They'll accept that any day, because they know they're going to lose Kevin Durant regardless. So, why wouldn't you take Jason Tatum? This man is out of his mind. I swear to God.
Replace the best player on the planet. You
He's
can
not
try all that
Yo.
you want, but it just won't be the same, because in
Best
the end,
player
there's
on the
only
planet.
one of these guys,
Crazy.
and they don't grow on Southern California palm trees.
In this case, Boston trees.
Okay, Boston trees, whatever Boston trees there are. Okay, so do I like the narrative here? I do, but in the end, would Kevin be intrigued by going to Boston to put them over the top, the way he put Golden State over the top? I just don't think it would have the same vibe, the same feeling. There's no LeBron involved in this, because LeBron's out. That was just such a beautiful maneuver for Kevin Durant.
Like I said, if Kevin Durant, if he ended up going to that team with Jason Tatum, they have a good chance of winning. So I don't know what Skip Bayless is trying to say here. Maybe I'm confused. But I don't know what he's trying to say.
To say, you guys just completely crumbled in the face of LeBron and Kyrie and company, so I'm going to go save you. I'm going to go save Steph's legacy twice in a row, 17 and 18, and I'm going to go crush LeBron's. I'm going to destroy it for 2 straight years. I'm going to turn 6 and 4 in the finals into 4 and 6 in the finals, which Kevin did by winning back-to-back MVPs, and you can't take that away from it.
No.
But would this feel like the same thing?
I can somewhat agree with that statement. Somewhat agree. Because when he did go to that team, he kind of did mess up LeBron's legacy by becoming the greatest team of all time. But he did kind of mess up LeBron's legacy. So I can kind of agree with what he's saying. But he definitely didn't help Steph Curry's legacy, because Steph Curry was already a great team. He already had a great team before Kevin Durant got there. So I don't know about all that. He might have helped him win those 2 chips. I can agree. Maybe.
Thing they need me to put them over the top against Golden State? Maybe. Might there be a little bit of lingering animosity towards Steph? And I thought there was some toward Draymond. I guess they figured that one out and buried it after Draymond called him the B word. But sometimes Kevin can be weird, like he still smolders inside. And
you mean to be weird if we want out after a couple of years? And that's one of the reasons why people seem to be unwilling to trade, because you want us to blow up our entire young nucleus, our farm system, and then you get upset, and then all of a sudden you want to be traded 1 or 2 years after the fact.
Okay, all I know is, would I love to see Kevin Durant against the Warriors in next year's finals? I would. Would I favor the Celtics in that? I would, if they had Kevin Durant and Golden State did not. And I think it would settle a lot of the scores. It would open a lot of people's eyes just how great Kevin Durant can be this time at age 34.
There's no debating of that. There's no debating with how great Kevin Durant is. We know how great he is.
Exactly. We know how good of a player Kevin Durant is. But we also know how much he isn't a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's a bad way to put it, but we know he's a great basketball player. He's a great scorer. You can give him the ball, he'll put up 50. But will he win you the game? Nah, I don't think that's KD.
He's a generational talent. He's a transcendent
Agreed.
player.
Agreed.
Problem is
Agreed.
He's irreplaceable.
He's
Because in
not. He's
basketball,
not.
It only takes one.
He's
As
not
we've
irre-
seen many times with LeBron. LeBron has been great with the Cavaliers and blah blah. We can see it.
Yeah.
When you're transcendent,
Yes.
you're all time.
Yes.
There's only one of you,
Right.
and you can't replace.
Kevin Durant is not irreplaceable. I promise you that. He's not irreplaceable. Because if he was irreplaceable, the Golden State Warriors wouldn't have won the championship last year. Simple. Simple. If he was irreplaceable, then they wouldn't have gotten swept by the Boston Celtics. The only team, mind you, the only team that got swept in the playoffs. Every other team won at least one game. The Atlanta Hawks won games. The Dallas Mavericks went to the conference finals. And the Dallas Mavericks are nowhere near the same talent as the Brooklyn Nets. Excuse me. They're nowhere near the same talent as the Brooklyn Nets. So this is why you know what I'm gonna bring up. Hot take. Luka Doncic is better than Kevin Durant. Any day. I'm choosing Luka Doncic over Kevin Durant any day of the week. Hot take. I don't care. I'm dead serious.
You. Cleveland obviously found out when he left to
Go to Miami.
and then went back, and all of a sudden life changed back around in Cleveland.
Right.
And finally broke through and won a championship.
Correct.
So the point is, Kevin Durant has 4 years left on his contract.
He does.
Kevin Durant is nowhere near
He has
free agency.
4
It's not
years?
like he's got a year left or even 2 years left. He's got 4 years
Right.
left. And they're owed to the Brooklyn Nets. So I still say the Nets
I
are
did
going
not
to
know
listen
that.
to all the offers, and then they're going to shake their heads and say, no, we like what we are because we loved what
Damn, 4 years? Shit, I did not know that.
we were when we started last year as the betting favorite to win it all going into last regular season when we did have KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. Then James Harden fought his way out, quit his way out, however you want to say, out of Brooklyn to Philadelphia.
Right.
And they got Ben Simmons back. And I like that. I thought that could be an upgrade, just an all-around upgrade, because they needed the defensive presence of a guy who's a candidate always to be Defensive Player of the Year. For whatever reason, he wasn't physically or mentally ready to play last year, and it crushed them.
It was a problem. It
And
was
then
something.
Kyrie
Something was
would
up.
get vaccinated, and it crushed them. And KD
Kyrie really fucked it up, honestly. I'm gonna be real. Kyrie really did fuck it up, like bad. Because James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, that team was very likely to make it to the finals. All healthy, very likely to make it to the finals. It could have happened this year, but Kyrie chose not to get vaccinated. And that fucked everything up because that made James Harden not want to be on that team anymore. And he just wanted out because what's the point of being... He went to that team to play with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, not with just Kevin Durant. So
he was awful in the first round because his body language was awful, and it said half-hearted. It said, my heart's not in this anymore. And now there are rampant reports on something that I first guessed, that KD and Kyrie have completely fallen apart and gone Splitsville. No longer
I think they're still
besties.
friends. They're still friends.
All of that
It's
should
bullshit.
and could be remedied in Brooklyn. All of that can be run back with KD, Kyrie, and a healthy
Well,
Ben Simmons.
you just said that there is a do not invite list between KD and Kyrie,
Okay.
and you want him to run it back in Brooklyn?
Okay, so he opted back in, did Kyrie, for
Yes.
his 36.7. So you just say, I'm sorry, but business is business, and you're just going to have to figure this out for one more year.
But don't you think Kevin Durant could have gone to Josiah, could have gone to Sean Marks and said, look, I'll run it back, but I don't want to run it back with the other guy. And they would have moved the other guy.
Okay, well,
to
they
appease
still...
They would have got rid of Kyrie like that. They would have got rid of Kyrie because I would get rid of Kyrie before Kevin Durant, and I don't like Kevin Durant. I don't like Kyrie either, but I just don't like Kyrie more than I don't like Kevin Durant. So, but I definitely would have kept Kevin Durant over Kyrie. Kyrie doesn't play. The man, it's either some bullshit like the vaccination thing that just happened. I mean, that's his own thing. I'm not 100% mad that he didn't, but it's just like, it's still your job, you know? It's still your job to play a basketball player. So you get paid for this, so just follow the rules. Just get vaccinated. But he always missing games. It's either he's injured or he got some other bullshit that he's doing. I can't. Kyrie's just unreliable.
They still
They still could. So, but I don't.
I'm not sure where that would leave Kevin next year.
But
They get a
but
better
but
player. They get a
you
good
said
player.
that there's, like,
If they will even
we're
take
saying- we
Kyrie.
talked
No
about
one
this
wants
last
Kyrie.
week about
Nobody.
building between Russ, AD, and LeBron jumping on the phone, making a commitment to recommit to each other, sacrificing for the betterment of the team. Now, do you believe that the relationship between Kyrie and KD is as volatile or maybe as toxic as LeBron, Russ, and AD relationship is? Do you believe it is equal to that or more?
I'm not behind the scenes, so it's hard for me to quantify that.
Right.
It feels potentially worse. It does, because
I
they
agree.
went from best friends to no friends.
Right.
They're not no
Because
friends though.
Kyrie was not there for Kevin.
They're not no friends though. I don't believe that they're no friends. I think they're still friends, and it's just I think that they just had a talk and they just know that they can't play with each other. That's just what it is. They had a talk and they got to get away from each other. Not everybody can play with each other. I have friends that I played basketball with, and we're just not compatible. The way I play and the way they play, it doesn't correlate. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not a good mix. They're not a good mix. It is what it is. But KD's just not that guy. He's just not that guy. He's not a winner. Let's put that out there. KD's not a winner. He obviously can't win without like a super team. And even when he had a super team, he still kind of didn't win. So it's like, what are you getting from KD besides a few years of him playing good as a basketball player, but not winning you championships, and then him deciding that he doesn't want to play for you anymore and leaving you in the dust? Because that's what he's doing. He's basically leaving Brooklyn. Like, at some point, Brooklyn's going to trade that man for the bare minimum. Like, they're going to get a good player, but it's not going to be as much. You see all these talks that they're having right now where they're asking for a lot of stuff. They're not going to get that trade. They're not going to get no team is going to make those trades. So they're just going to get one player, a role player, and maybe two draft picks. Nothing else more than that. Nothing else like they're asking for. So he's going to end up fucking over the Brooklyn Nets. Simple as that. He's going to fuck them over just like he fucked over Golden State, just like he fucked over OKC. Every team that man has been on, he has a bad rep with every team. Once he leaves, he messes them up. Like, they're done. See, they're done without him. Like, once he goes, it's just, even though the Warriors weren't really done, they were more injured. Because look what happened when everybody came back. They won a championship. But he just leaves. It's just no remorse. At least this time he asked for a trade. Like, but Kevin Durant, man, he's just not going to be that guy. He's not that guy. He's going to end up on this team. He's going to stay with the Nets for a little while. And yeah, I agree that he's not going to go anywhere. I agree with Skip on that part, at least. Right now, he's not going to go with it. He's not going to go anywhere. But I also agree with Shannon that these are trades that these teams should be making, especially the Celtics. They might need to make that trade. Maybe. It's up in the air with me right now. I'm still kind of on the defense, like saying no, but that's just because I don't like Kevin Durant. And I don't think that he's going to help them win. Honestly, they still might lose. With that team, they're probably going to lose to Milwaukee. Keeping it a buck. They're probably going to end up losing to Milwaukee, so that is what it is. But the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, I don't like them. I don't like them. And it's just not because they're bad basketball players. Just certain things that they do. They're just not the guys. Everyone makes them seem like they're these great basketball players. Oh, Kyrie deserves to be in the top 75 and blah, blah, blah. No, because they're not winners. They're good basketball players. They play ball. They're very good at it. Very good at their job. But it's just like, if you want a guy who's gonna win you a championship, Kevin Durant and Kyrie aren't those guys. They're not. Like a lot of people joke around, like the memes and stuff. They're two Robins. You ain't got no Batman here. James Harden kind of was the Batman. He kind of was a Batman, but I think he's at a time in his career where he's not the same like he used to be. So, and he's also, I think he's still injured. I still think James Harden, he had that hamstring injury, and that's not easy to recover from. So I think he's still injured, and that kind of like made their team a little bit worse. But they had it. James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Big disappointment. Big disappointment. Kyrie Irving always injured or always on some bullshit. James Harden got injured. He's getting older. Kevin Durant's just not the guy. He's just not the guy. If he was the guy, they would have won at least one game. We switch. I'm gonna make a lot of switches in podcasts that I do. All the rest of my podcasts, all the rest of the episodes, I'm gonna do this a lot. Switch Luka Doncic or Giannis, any one of those guys with Kevin Durant on that exact same team. Everybody else is the same. Keep Kyrie, keep everyone else on that team. But just switch Kevin Durant and Luka or Kevin Durant and Giannis. Luka and Giannis are going to win at least 1 or 2 games. Maybe they won't win. Maybe they won't win. I feel like they might. They might beat the Celtics. Luka might beat the Celtics. Giannis more likely to beat the Celtics with that exact same team, with Kyrie. Why is it so different with Kevin Durant then? Why on Kevin Durant's on that team they get swept? Giannis would have won. Giannis probably would have won a few games, and he probably would have won the series. So, is he really the greatest player in the NBA right now? Is he worth trading all these guys for right now? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't think so. I think Kevin Durant is a great basketball player. But in this time and era, I don't think he's worth it anymore. I swear to God, I don't think he's worth it anymore. So, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I might be biased. I really might be. So, let's go ask my friend. He watches basketball. He loves basketball. Our friend Zay, he loves basketball. And honestly, he doesn't have a problem with the Brooklyn Nets as much as I do. Like, I really got a problem with that team. So, I don't know. Let's see what he says. Let's go ask. I'm biased, right? So let's go ask. Okay, so we're here with my unbiased friend, because apparently I might be biased. Who knows? So, yeah, we're here with my friend Isaiah. So let's see what he has to say. Isaiah, what do you think about the whole KD wanting a trade from Brooklyn situation?
Hello, world. I think it's not. What do I? Damn. I think it's. It's hard to like put my finger on it. I can see why he wants to leave. Like, it's not a drag or whatever. Like, he has every reason and every right to be like, oh, can I get out of here? But at the same time, it's like, you got to the team and it's been, 3 years now?
About, yeah.
So, yeah, about. I don't think you should give up just yet. He has, a year left on his contract? He signed a 4-year or a 3?
I'm pretty sure he signed a 4, but let's get the elephant out the room. It's obvious that Kevin Durant doesn't stick to the team if they're losing. He's not a winner. I'm sorry, he's not a winner. The guy, him and Kyrie, first off, horrible mix. You can't put 2 guys like that on the same team and think you're gonna go anywhere. That's why James Harden wanted to leave. Simple as that. Everyone gets on James Harden saying, oh, he quit. I heard Skip Bayless say that James Harden is the one who quit on the team. How would James Harden quit on the team if he left the team before they even started losing? He left because Kyrie didn't want to play. Simple as that. Kyrie didn't want to get the vaccine. So now we got a team, a halfway done team, with no Kyrie and Kevin Durant, who sometimes gets injured. Who would want to stay on a team like that and think they're going to go to the championship? So he left, willingly went to the 76ers because he thought, that team I might be able to help that team. Mind you, they did go farther in the playoffs than the Nets did. Let's remember that.
Yeah.
So is he really the quitter, or is Kevin Durant the quitter for wanting him and Kyrie for wanting to leave the team, requesting trades, and wanting to go somewhere else, not wanting to sign extensions? I don't know. That sounds like a quitter to me.
It sounds like that video that I seen that it was like Kevin Durant's a bad picker, bad this that, and a third, and he brings like nothing to the team. Like one point was brought up that okay, when Kevin Durant was with Westbrook, what happened after he left? The team started to work around Westbrook, and that's how he averaged a triple double. And then what happens the year before he joined the Warriors? They no, that was no, the year before 73-9, the Warriors still won. He joins, and he wouldn't. I can't say he made the Warriors better because they're already good. He just added too much frosting on the
That's
cake,
what I'm saying.
and
See,
then people like feed off of that. You know, it's like giving a kid more from a candy shop than what they asked for.
mm-hmm.
Then he leaves, and they're still doing good. So does that make him? Was he just reliable, or was he just the extra? Let's just take advantage of his skills and look, two Finals MVPs and two chips back to back. Whoopie doo. But then that goes and proves that the Warriors did not need Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant needed them just to have that say of like, oh, I have a ring. Matter of fact, I have two.
Yeah,
I
you see,
have Finals MVPs.
my take on Kevin Durant and the Warriors. I think Kevin Durant needed the Warriors when he first got there. When he first got there, he definitely needed the Warriors to win a championship. Once he won
Hmm.
that first ring, I think after that is when the Warriors needed Kevin Durant. Because when he left, people were injured. Obviously, they went on 2 bad years, and that's when they
Hmm.
quote unquote needed Kevin Durant. But the reason why they needed Kevin Durant was because he already ruined the team. His money, the amount of money that he needed, they couldn't sign
Hmm.
as many bench players as they had. We all know the Warriors do good with a whole team. Look at the team they
Yeah.
have this year. They got a great bench with Jordan Poole. You got young Andrew Wiggins. They still have James Wiseman, who, mind you, hasn't even played yet. So
He has
they always
potential.
win when they have a full on team. And that's why when he left, he ruined that team. And that's exactly what he's about to do to whoever he gets traded to. I promise you. Because look at what the Brooklyn Nets are asking for this man. The Celtics offered them Jaylen Brown, Dylan White,
Mm.
whatever his name is, Derek White, and a
Hmm.
couple of first round draft picks. They counter offered that with saying, nah, we want Marcus Smart, another bench player, and more draft picks. Wherever Kevin Durant is gonna go, he's gonna ruin that team's future once he decides to leave. Because I
Wait,
guarantee you,
that counter. Sorry, that counter was like they wanted to add Marcus Smart to that package,
yes,
or
yes.
also
Brooklyn
they
Nets,
wanted Marcus Smart and Jalen Brown.
yes, the Brooklyn Nets asked for Marcus Smart after they were
Ooh.
given Jaylen Brown and just Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and some picks. They said they wanted Marcus Smart. They said they're not taking the trade unless they get Marcus Smart, another role player, and more draft picks. These guys must be out their goddamn mind. I don't know if they think they're trading with the Timberwolves or who, but they're bugging. For the
Hmm.
Warriors, mind you, this is a whole separate team. For the Warriors, they asked the Warriors if they wanted Kevin Durant. Warriors heard them out. They said they wanted Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, like 3 first round draft picks. These guys must be out their fucking mind if they think that they're getting all that for a guy who can't win. I'm sorry, Kevin Durant cannot win. He's just not a winner. If Giannis was on that team, if Giannis Antetokounmpo was on that team last season versus the Celtics in the playoffs, maybe they might not have won the series, but I guarantee you they would have won at least 2 games. Guarantee you they
Definitely
would have
not.
won.
We not getting swept.
They're not getting swept. I don't know how you're supposed to be the greatest player in the league right now. You're supposed to be the greatest player in the league because LeBron's getting old, so everyone says he's not the greatest. And Giannis, apparently Kevin Durant's better than Giannis too. If you're the greatest player, you should not be the only team in the entire league to get swept in the playoffs. The only team that didn't win a game. Mind you, they have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And they got swept. And they had Andre Drummond. Bro, I'm not I can't defend that man. Hot take, I'm taking Luka Doncic over Kevin Durant any day. I think he should stay with the Brooklyn Nets. Honestly, not stay with them. I think the Brooklyn Nets should just trade them, get what they can, and part ways. Start over with Ben Simmons on that team because Kyrie and Kevin Durant, I'm done with them. I'm done with these guys.
I think okay. Um, Regarding your take, I I could see why someone could make your argument, and I could see why someone could counter that. But I'm on the side of like, yeah, I would take Luca because of the fact
100%.
like, look at what Luca had to work with versus what Kevin Durant had to
I
work
can't.
with.
It's
Kevin, like the Nets are already a much better team than the Mavs. You take away Luca, the Mavs are
nothing. They're not even a playoff
nothing.
team.
You
Not even
take
a
away
playoff contender.
Durant, and the Nets will still do like way better than the Mavs without Luca.
They'll do exactly how they did the first season that they got together. Because
Yeah,
remember, Kevin
yeah,
Durant was
yeah, yeah,
injured.
yeah.
He was injured that first year. So
Mm-hmm.
that's right now. That's everybody's defense on the Brooklyn Nets for some reason. They're saying Kevin Durant was injured the first year and Kyrie was injured the second, and blah blah blah. And then this was a
Cool.
new year. It was complete. This year could have been honestly, it could have been the Brooklyn Nets year. They had Harden, Kyrie,
Mm-hmm.
and Kevin Durant. They fucked it up because Kyrie fucked it up. Kyrie fucked it up by not getting the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what led to James Harden wanting to get out of there and go to a championship caliber team. And them ended up losing because of no team chemistry in the playoffs. Swept. I'm going to keep saying they got swept because I don't think people understand. If this was LeBron James got swept, it would have been the worst thing ever in basketball history. LeBron
Yeah.
James getting swept in the first round. It would have been worse than him not making the playoffs this year. If him getting swept in the first round. To Jason Tatum, mind you. A guy who's not even in his prime yet. With a rookie coach. Celtics a rookie
Mm-hmm.
coach. See, there's so many factors here. Yeah, they made it to the finals. That's the team that ended up making it to the finals. But then again, you
Mm-hmm.
got to remember the Celtics did play an injured Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee most likely would have won that series if Chris Middleton was playing. Just saying that. Just saying. I know you love yourself some Giannis in Milwaukee, so I know you 100% agree with me on that. But I'm pretty sure the Milwaukee Bucks probably would have went to the finals. Probably would have ended up winning the championship, to be honest, because it would have been I think it would have been a 7-game series. But Celtics shouldn't have beat the Nets. Simple as that. They shouldn't. Not when you
I
have a top 3 apparently. Apparently, I don't think so. But a top 3 player in the NBA on your team, and then one of the greatest point guards who was snubbed. Mind you, he was snubbed from the top 75. But
no.
so I don't understand. You can't have a team like that and lose and think that you're still this guy and you should be getting all these guys for you. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But okay. So one factor of why expectations play a big role on this, because look at it like this. Like you said, LeBron gets swept and it's over because people who don't like LeBron have expectations of him.
Oh God.
And it's that, you know, people expect this guy to still put up numbers these 23-year-olds are putting, and they expect Braun to win the next 5,000 championships until he starts growing great. Well, he has grays already. And that can go into Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember clear as day. We had graduated high school and free agency started, and out of nowhere we're hearing and it was around the same time period when Kawhi was deciding on where to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the craziest free agency in a minute. And then we hear Kyrie and Kevin Durant. These are two very good ISO players.
All-star caliber talent, generational talents going in on the same team.
And then what does everybody think?
They're
Oh my
champions.
God.
They're like, oh my
Back
God,
to back
the Nets are
trips.
gonna win the next few years, blah blah blah. And what ended up happening? Not a single. Did they even make the third round? In
No,
the 3
because
years that they played together, they didn't even make the conference finals.
they made the semis against the
Wow.
Bucks, and that's when KD wore too big of a shoes, and
Wow.
that 3 was a 2.
Wow, they
And
didn't
it's
even make the conference finals. Not 1 year. That's crazy.
Not
That
one.
and it's crazy because what makes it worse is it's their fault. It's the player, them too, specifically. Honestly, I'm not mad. I'm not mad that the Brooklyn Nets are asking for so much for KD. Want to know why? Because they're
Mhm.
trying to be the only team that KD has left that he didn't ruin. Because if KD leaves right now, the Nets are probably back in the lottery. They're probably back in the lottery.
Mm.
Because if they trade him just for like a Jalen Brown, just straight up like that, they're not gonna be able to be a
You
championship
see,
caliber team.
you see. Now this is one thing I want to go over with you. What? How do you understand Jalen Brown's like reaction to being in that trade package? Like, even though it didn't happen, we don't know if it will happen. I feel like I feel really bad for
I'll
him
be pissed.
because you can tell this guy played his heart out in the for his first finals appearance. He did so good. Everybody, the spotlight was just on Jason Tatum,
I'll
and
be
when he
pissed.
does bad, they think the Celtics are doing bad,
Listen,
and they're not looking at
mm-hmm.
what Jalen Brown was doing those whole 6 games. And for you to give up a star player that helped your team get to where they went last year, it's like, okay, now that puts Jalen Brown in a predicament of like, was all that for nothing?
Pretty
That
yeah.
I just
Another hot take. Another hot take. Jalen Brown was more of a reason that they made the finals than Jason Tatum was. 100%.
exact
So to
100,
be
and the
Jalen
media
Brown,
was surrounding Tatum.
yeah, people are
That
on Tatum's nuts. Like, not even to be funny, they were on Tatum's nuts like he was the next Kobe. Oh, let's not even mention that name because God
well,
forbid this
listen,
man
listen.
texting Kobe and stuff.
Jason, this is one of those things where it's like, when these young players just do one dunk or one stat line and they're like, he's the next
That's
LeBron,
what
the
I'm saying.
next
It's
Vince Carter. But this is a complete different because Jason Tatum boosted that ego. And, one
oh
day he's
man,
texting Kobe's, listen, if I'm texting Kobe's
the
phone,
memes were incredible.
if I'm texting Kobe's phone, I better put up 30. There's no way you're texting Kobe's phone and you're shooting terrible game one. Terrible. Second, he shows up to practice in the same in the same outfit Kobe did when he had his tryouts for the Celtics. So, and then and the cherry on top is when he takes that picture of laying down on the court with the ball behind his head.
Oh man.
Okay, I understand Kobe is a role model to millions of people.
Hmm.
That's fine. But when you take it a step further and dress and try to copy him,
Oh man, you
thinking
gotta at least win, man. You can't.
you have to. That's the
Not
it
even
comes
you
with
gotta at
it.
least have a good game, man. This dude had
Yeah,
one of the worst final and oh god. Did you
dude.
see the last
Like
game?
when say it again.
Did you see the last game of that he played?
Yes,
Jalen Brown
yes.
carried, man. Jalen Brown carried, and for them to try to trade him, oh god.
And it's like I put it into the analogy like this: we go into, you go into just some regular park. You want to go play a game of 21, okay? And it's always the guys with the shoes fresh out of Foot Locker, arm sleeves, headbands, like full on, like they're ready to play a game. They do
Full gear,
terrible,
fully dressed.
terrible,
NBA tryout.
terrible. Yes, terrible. But the kid with the black shirt, the red shorts, and every one of them does so much
And the
better.
messed up sneakers. All I know is that Jalen Brown should not have been in that trade talk. Not for KD. Not after that finals. Not after that finals performance. Not after that playoff performance in general. Honestly, because Jalen Brown's too good of a player, man. He's too good of a player. Kevin Durant is just. I think Kevin Durant would have helped them win. I do think that if the trade goes through, I think it is highly likely, not super likely, but it is still a higher chance that they do make the championship again, the Celtics. I do think that if the trade does go through, they do have a chance of making the championship again and possibly winning because at the end of the day, Kevin Durant is a generational player and an unguardable scorer with his 7 foot self shooting from half court. The man is sensational basketball wise. And to have a guy like him and Tatum on the same team, it is going to be hard. And we got to remember, Celtics did pick up Malcolm Brogdon. They picked up Malcolm Brogdon and Daniel
Mm,
Gallinari. From all I know right now, I think there's another guy, but right now, from what I remember, Daniel Gallinari and Danilo Gallinari and Malcolm Brogdon are on the Celtics. So that's a
mm-hmm,
decent team. Malcolm Brogdon, if they decide to keep Derek White or have someone another shooting guard, but whoever the shooting guard is going to be, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams, Daniel Gallinari, and I'm pretty sure they have a couple more bench guys that play good. That's still a
mm-hmm.
scary team. It's still a scary team, even if they trade Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. I just feel like it's messed up to Jaylen Brown. The Celtics are obviously don't give a shit about their players. Look at Isaiah Thomas. This is obviously
Yeah.
another Isaiah Thomas situation. It's just trade one guy for another. And watch, it's funny. The funny thing about it, they're gonna do the same thing they did with Isaiah Thomas, and it might end up the same way. You see how they traded Isaiah Thomas for Kyrie?
And look where that
If
took
they
them.
trade Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant, it might end up the same way. The team's not gonna win. They might not win. There's a chance that they will, but there's also a chance that they won't, because we all know, after this season especially, Kevin Durant's not a winner. He's just not the guy. He's
Mm-mm.
he's a great scorer. He's a great scorer. But if you want a guy who's gonna win you the game, he's not him. LeBron is him. Giannis is him. Luka Doncic is him. Shit, Kawhi Leonard, I would say, is him. But Kevin Durant's not that guy, man. It's just not. This is what it
No.
is.
And to piggyback off of Luca, he went up against the first seed. They're coming off a finals loss
A finals appearance.
last
They made the
season,
finals. They were up
and
2-0 on the champions, and
and
blew them
then
out.
look where that
How
ends
much they
up.
lost? What was it? 30, 40? 30, 40 points?
30, 30
Jesus
around
Christ.
there.
That's a whole nother topic for another day that we're probably going to end up talking about how that should not have happened, especially if you're the Suns. That should not have
Yeah.
happened. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But to bring it back to the Kevin Durant thing, Luka Doncic, if we switch the roles, I'm gonna do this a lot. I'm gonna do this a lot. Y'all
Hmm.
better remember this. I'm gonna do this a lot. If I'm gonna switch roles a lot. If Luka and Kevin Durant switch teams, Dallas might not have been in the playoffs. They still might have made it. They might have been a low seed, but they might not have been. They're not gonna be the same seed they were. They're probably gonna make the playoffs, but they lose again in the first round. Luka may not have beat the Celtics with Kyrie, maybe because I don't know how. Then again, no, they would have beat the Celtics because Luka, in my opinion, I compare him to LeBron. Not saying he's as good as LeBron was or as
Hmm.
good as LeBron is,
Leadership.
but the style of play, needing the ball in his hand, and taking over, passing when he has to pass, scoring when he has to score, he reminds me of a LeBron. So I think they might have won. They actually would have beat the Celtics because Luka would have taken over the game because that's what he does, and then he would have had a dominant second option because that's what Kyrie needs to be. Robin, two Robins can't be on one team, but Kyrie needs to be a Robin. Let's just be honest. Kyrie is a Robin, and he needs a Batman. Luka would have been the
Kyrie's
Batman.
been,
Luka would
Kyrie's
have been
been
the
a
Batman.
Robin, and it's that okay. I feel like you have to have a certain type of like pride, not even pride, but it's that it it doesn't make sense for you to leave. Like you have every reason, I mean every right to leave a team, whatever, right? And his main reasoning for leaving Cleveland was that he was saying, "Oh, I don't like being under the shadow of LeBron James." First off, do you know how many people would have killed to be in Kyrie's shoes? To
Exactly.
be just to play one game with LeBron on their team. And sure, yeah, you can, try to be your little heroic solo superhero for the next team. But look where that got you. The
Exactly.
Celtics
That's
went
what I'm
farther. The
saying.
Celtics went farther
Without you.
without Kyrie before and after he left.
Crazy.
Okay, so that shows. That
Young
shows.
talent. Young talent,
The
mind you.
young and listen. That same team that lost in the finals went to Game 7 against Braun while he's in Cleveland. Kyrie joins. They lose to Giannis in 5.
It's it,
Where's come on,
it's
it's
ridiculous. That's what it is.
It doesn't take rocket science to realize what the problem is right now, and it's him. And it's what happens when you have a second option try to be a first. It's
Hmm.
like the same thing with. It's a little similar to like if Clay decides to leave and he's like, okay, I
He
want to go
won't
to
be the
another
same.
team. Let's just say Timberwolves for hypothetically.
Wouldn't be the same.
He's not. Say it again.
He wouldn't be the same. I don't think
It
there's
wouldn't.
nothing.
It wouldn't. And yes, Kyrie can create a basket way better than Clay, and Clay is just a spot up shooter when you need him to be. But Clay is reliable. Look, he's been out the league since the last time Clay played a game. Kawhi was on the Raptors.
Pretty much.
Every It was just a long time, and he came back, and the Warriors still won. And remember where they were before he came. It was a little shaky.
Hmm.
Like eighth seed. They're just saying, "Oh, Warriors are in they're like shaky, rough waters or whatever." Clay comes back now to come back off an injury like that and still help your team. He didn't make that team worse. I know that for a fact.
Nope.
He did not make the Warriors worse. And to be able to come back off an injury like that and win a chip, that's like standing ovation. That's hats
See, that
off.
shows a
I
lot.
give all
It shows a
I
lot.
give all props to Clay. Clay
Hmm.
is like, I might have my little biases here and there, but in the end, if I wanted a very reliable teammate that's always there
And
when I
always gonna
need
do what
him
he
to
needs to
be,
do.
then Clay's your perfect
Hmm.
option. And it's that it's the best. It's a good mix. And the thing about the Warriors is that they were built, not bought. These are guys from like they've been drafted.
Exactly.
None of them
Mind
requested a
you,
trade. It
the
goes
only
from
championships that the Warriors have won are the two with KD. And mind you, KD was still the only guy on that team free agency wise, the only big name free agent. The Warriors have always
mhm,
been a championship caliber team with draft picks.
yeah,
Wiggins
from
wasn't a
Kevin.
draft pick, but he wasn't a all star level until we hit the Warriors.
mm,
People thought he was a bust. From what I remember, people were
Yeah,
saying
the
Andrew
next
Wiggins was
Anthony
a bust
Bennett.
and he wasn't worthy of being a number one draft pick. They're not
Hmm.
saying that this season after winning that chip, after him making the All Star game. They're definitely not saying that anymore. So who's the better player, Steph Curry or Kevin Durant?
Curry,
Exactly.
without a doubt. And let
It
me tell you
shouldn't
why.
be a
Let me tell
doubt
you why.
anymore. I don't think it should be a doubt. I don't think anyone should. There is no
Curry.
argument you can
Let's
give
let's
me.
just go for one thing. He's gone from like a no name on top of like the Warriors. Like nobody 10 years ago. Maybe I'd even who won 10 years ago today. 2012 was that LeBron or Dirk?
That was Miami. 2011 was
Okay.
Dallas. Miami won the next year, I think. Yeah,
Keep in mind the Warriors back then. It was Monte Ellis. I still miss him. He was such a bucket
it
getter.
was the
And then
boys,
Curry,
the originals.
of course, Curry comes into the league. Nobody like Warriors fans were deceased. You'd be able you wouldn't even find any jersey sales from
I
like
didn't.
any. I
I
would
was a
go
child. I
outside.
didn't even remember. I didn't even know who the Warriors were, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
My
And what
my my
happens
Steph
because
Curry's
of
my favorite player, and I didn't start liking Curry until 14, 15, I think 14 or 15, one of those years. And that was the only
hmm
reason why was because he started getting hyped for his shooting. So, and you know me, I love to shoot. So I started liking who Curry was, and that's when he kind of blossomed. Like I'm guessing you're getting to right now, where he kind of
yeah,
changed the game.
he had a very large amount of following, and he didn't fumble it. A lot of the times these players get too much confidence, they start going downhill, and then they lose everything. But Curry, on the other hand, he was known for his shooting. He turned his shooting into just like something everybody in the league wants to play, and this is why
He changed the game. He made an
he
era
changed
of
the game,
basketball. He made a new
bro.
era of basketball.
And it revolves around 3-point shooting. Because look at it like this: I guarantee you, like even these new guys that are coming in, like
Hmm.
these rookies, this draft class, whoever was drafted as a big, like this class alone, I can guarantee you, they will shoot more like
Because of
3-point
Curry.
wise.
Because of
Not that
Curry.
they're gonna have then like back then, because back then threes weren't
Chet Holmgren
important.
is a 7-foot center, mind you. He is a center. He is 7 feet.
Mhm.
He is a center. We're not going to give him power forward. He is a center. He plays like a center. He doesn't play like a guard. He's not fully like a Kevin Durant yet, but he's 7 feet center, and he shoots. Who do you think is the reason for that? Steph Curry.
The man, the
So
legend.
I just want to know. I just want to know your take on, after all these details, an championship caliber player without a Kevin Durant, mind you, championship caliber player, championship caliber team, era changer, era creator, championship again without another Kevin Durant, with the same team he had before, after going 2 years not even making the playoffs because his team was injured and not good. How can you say Kevin Durant is still better than that guy? What problems has Kevin Durant went through in his career that he's come back from?
None.
None.
Because
Every problem that he's ever
been
had, he fixed it. Want to know how he fixed it? He went to
staying.
another team. 3-1 lead on the Golden State Warriors. 3-1. Loses it. The Warriors, that was the year they lost, right? Yeah, that was the year they lost.
Yeah.
He
73 and
loses to
9.
the Warriors next offseason, the upcoming offseason. Breaking news: Kevin Durant has joined the Golden State Warriors. They win championships, 2 championships, right? It's not like he stayed. He didn't stay with OKC and come back from that, because that would have been an understandable comeback, you know. See, he almost did come back, because mind you, remember, he made the finals with OKC, but lost to Miami. He stayed with OKC, but I don't think that was his choice. I think that was just because he was young, still had that contract, and he still, you know, he stuck with the team. But the second he got another uncomfortable moment, the 3-1 blow, they blew the 3-1 lead, goes to the Warriors. They win 2 championships. He thinks he's hot shit. This is what I feel. Like, I may not be true or real. This may not be like 100% accurate, but I think he got cocky. He thought, I own the Warriors. The Warriors ain't shit without me. You know, there was that whole apparent beef with Draymond and all that. I know Kevin Durant probably thought he was the shit. He was like, you guys need me more than I need you. So he leaves, goes with Kyrie, thinking that he's going to show them. He thought he showed them, because the next 2 years, they didn't win. But guess what? Guess who also didn't win for the next 2 years? The Nets. But you can say that's because of injury. Now we approach this year. Now we come to this year. Everyone's healthy on both teams now. So injuries aren't the problem anymore for either the Warriors or the Nets, because everyone's healthy. Warriors start doing good. Kyrie doesn't want to play. Vaccine. But mind you, they're still a good team. Still have Harden. Still have KD. So they win games. They make the playoffs. The whole thing happens with Kyrie where he's able to play now, but only home games. You know, the whole little situation that happened with him. So James Harden already left. But you still have that one guy that you went there with. You still have the guy you said, we're going to win a championship together. Kyrie, KD. It's both of you. You guys been on the same team for 3 years. Even if Kyrie don't play, he still practices with the team. You're still his friend. You still have chemistry. And then you get swept? Another hardship. And what does he do? What does he do this offseason? Request a trade. Kevin Durant can't do it. He can't do it. This whole entire podcast episode, all I've been talking about was KD, and not if KD's good or not. I'm not talking about if KD's good or not. This whole episode, I'm not saying KD's a bad basketball player, because I can't say that. The man can average 40 points any day of the week. But I'm arguing that he's not a winner. He's not a winner, and he's not going to stick with the team. He's not. He's going to ruin your team if y'all don't win. If y'all don't win, he's going to ruin your team. And it's just simple as that. He's not going to win for you. He's not going to win for you unless he has a super team, because that's the only way so far we've seen him get close to winning. He needs a super team. But even if he doesn't have a super team and he still has a great player, he'll do okay. But he's not going to win. He's not going to be that guy. And that's just my take. Just my take on KD. I'm sorry. I don't think with the whole trade situation, I'll say get rid of him. But wherever he goes, I don't think he's going to do anything for them. Unless he's on a great, great team. Unless he gets traded to a great team like he's asking for. Because mind you, you don't see him getting asked to be traded to the Orlando Magic or the Detroit Pistons. No, he doesn't want to go to those teams. No. He wants to go to the Celtics. He wants to go to the Heat, who made the conference finals. He wants to go to the Suns, who made the finals last year and possibly were the 1 seed this year. Wants to go to all these great teams. Warriors. Wants to go back to the team that he probably thought he was better than. But he doesn't want to stay with the Nets to try to see if he could win again. That's just it. That's my take. You got anything else you want to say, Zay?
Let's. Like you said, I'm not here bashing KD.
Exactly.
He's a very talented player, considering his size. What he's done, that's fine. But there's a
Generational
big
talent.
difference in being a good basketball player and a team player. This isn't boxing where it's just you. Okay, if this isn't a boxing reference, then yeah, KD would be the best or whatever at what he does, but he has to work with 4 other guys on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't bring that leadership mentality or like that, like, you know, that motivation, because and that brings your team chemistry down.
Mm-hmm.
Whether the trade like if the trade doesn't happen, you know how, like, imagine how many guys got into that team and they're like, okay, I'm playing with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And then they hear this. Now, that brings the mood down for everybody else. Because it's like, okay, and like, it's just some regular guy off the bench. I'll just give a random name. I don't know, Tom Dickinson. Tom is like, am I the problem?
Yeah, that's what
and then it's going to be like, damn. Now we get back to the locker room. Season starts. No trades have happened yet. And it's like, dude.
He doesn't want to be here. It's like, why am I going to try if he doesn't even want to be here, right?
Exactly.
It's just I understand. I get what you're saying. There's not going to be no chemistry. I already know there's not going to be no chemistry because apparently there's talks that the friendship between KD and Kyrie is declining. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really believe it. I still think that they're good friends, but I think that they realized that they had a conversation with each other. They sat down, they sat with each other, they shook hands. They were like, listen, you're one of my best friends in the NBA. We're cool. But me and you cannot be on the same team. I think they've actually had that conversation. I'm going to be honest. I think they might have actually sat down with each other, talked about it, and realized that they are not the right teammates for each other. They just aren't. And if they did, then that's already ruining the chemistry. And they need to go. Both of them. Both of them need to get out of Brooklyn. And Brooklyn needs to get some decent stuff. I think Brooklyn's still asking for a little bit too much. But Brooklyn does deserve some decent stuff. And I think they should work around Ben Simmons and young talent. And Ben Simmons is going to end up asking for a trade anyway. I can see that. I can see that happening this season already. It hasn't been announced, but I already know he's going to ask for a trade or something. Probably end up in Portland. I don't know. But I think that's what they should do. And KD's just that's just what I feel about KD, man.
It sucks because, like, growing up, like, Kevin Durant's image has changed within, like, in terms of, like, fan base. Because I don't really hear I don't get to have conversations with a lot of KD fans. I don't even remember the last time I heard somebody say KD is my favorite player. And that can take a toll on you. Sure, having less fans doesn't make you a worse player. You know, it's not like KD loses 1 million followers tomorrow, he's going to end up in a G League.
Nah,
but
of course.
It's your image. And when you do stuff to break your image, there's consequences that come with it. Look at it right now. Like the minute, like, people look at KD like a villain, basically.
He is a
Whenever he just
villain. I
breathes
think
or
he's a
says something
villain.
on Twitter,
He's a
I
villain.
guarantee you, Luca and KD can both tweet the same thing, and the media is gonna take KD's tweet
And
to the
yeah,
heart.
yeah, I know. I agree.
It-
But that's the same.
It's
But I think
it's
that comes with being a great player. Because look at LeBron. In today's era, I think that comes with being a great player. Unless you're Steph
mhm.
Curry. For some reason, no one hates Steph Curry. I don't know why. I love
You
Steph
can't.
Curry, but it's just no one hates him. I don't know if it's because he never left. Maybe that's why. Maybe people that leave. Maybe it's the great players that leave teams. Yeah, that probably makes sense. The great players that leave teams are the ones that get a lot of hate because Giannis doesn't get hate. Um,
Mm-mm.
Steph Curry doesn't get hate. Damian Lillard's getting hate right now, but not the hate like as a player. They're hating him because they want him to leave. They're like, you're too good to be in
It's
Portland.
wasted potential.
Yeah, but people who normally stay on the teams, they end up not being hated. And guys like KD and LeBron James, who are great players, they're gonna end up being looked at like the villain always. Even though I feel the same way about KD, but I don't feel the same way about LeBron. But that's a topic again for another day. Because I already know I can go for 3 hours talking about the hate that LeBron
Oh
gets.
yeah.
I can go 3 hours talking about it and the difference between the hate that LeBron gets and the hate that Kevin Durant gets and why they should be, why one shouldn't and one should get hate. But like I said, conversation for another day. So overall, I'm gonna get one last thing for you to say. Overall, what would you say? What do you What is your prediction on the end from now to the trade deadline? What's your prediction for KD and how do you feel?
I don't know if they're gonna find a good package because, like, for a trade to happen, it's two yeses.
Yes.
If one person says yes, the other one says no, it's not happening. I know, like in today's league, it's very much not so much, but a little bit ran by the players compared to like back then.
Yeah.
If a player wants a trade, he can also have a say in it too. And I think I think the trade will happen later on, you know, because like it's just I this is the thing, right? Because who KD is, what he brings to the table, yes, he's not a winner, whatever. But that doesn't really diminish
The
his
fact he's a great
value.
player. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
It because these guys could be in a tough losing season, but then again, at the end of the day, it is Kevin Durant. This guy is considered top three players in the league right now, and it's like, what team doesn't want him? You think Boston cares they got swept? I mean, Boston cares Brooklyn got swept? No, they will sweep the team and take their pawn
Take their best
from
player.
Brooklyn.
Take their king.
Ex- exactly.
I agree. I
So
agree. So, are you
it's
saying that? Are you saying that there isn't going to be a trade and that Brooklyn's just going to end up losing him for nothing, or because I think he has one more year left, so
mhm.
it's either they trade him by the trade deadline or they lose him for nothing. So, do you think that he's going to be traded for less than what he's worth, or that he's just going to end up getting lost for nothing? I don't think he's going to get lost for nothing because I don't think the Brooklyn Nets can afford to lose him for nothing. At the end of the year, at the end of the day, they might not be able to get the same trade like the Jalen Brown. I think they got to do it now. They got to do a trade right now in the off season
Mhm.
because if they do try to do it in the middle of the season, they're not going to get as good as a trade as they would in the off season. So they should. I think now is the only opportunity they're going to get a great player like a Jalen Brown or a DeAndre Ayton or well maybe not DeAndre Ayton because I know he has like some technical difficulties in his contract, but a great player. They're only gonna get a great player now. They're not gonna be able to do it in the off season. So I mean in the current season, next season coming up, they're not gonna be able to do it. So I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think he's gonna stay with the team throughout the season. If he does, then oh well. But in my opinion, I think he'll be traded before the first 20 games of the season. He'll be traded before that. I'm not going to say he'll be traded by the time before the season starts, But before the first 20 games of the season, I guarantee you he's going to get traded for something. Maybe not the best trade, but he has to get traded because they're going to lose him for nothing. Him and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kyrie is harder because we all know nobody wants that guy. Nobody wants a guy that's not going to play. So that's going to be a little bit more challenging, but that's my take on KD. He's going to get traded before the first 20 games of the season. Do you agree? Disagree?
I could agree. Because they still need to test some waters out.
Yeah,
I mean, test the water out through the first few weeks or whatever.
They're gonna bust some balls. They're gonna bust some balls for the next few weeks to see if they could get a big trade. They're gonna try to bust some balls, but by the time when people realize they see their poker face and they realize they're just bluffing and that they need to trade KD, they're gonna end up trading him for something less than what they're asking. So that's what it is. And Skip Bayless, if you're watching this, I know KD's your favorite player. You can kiss my ass. LeBron all day.
How does the trade affect LeBron's legacy?
Jesus Christ, man! You should watch the first half of this video podcast that I'm making now. You should see the things Skip Bayless was saying about KD being his favorite player and already mentioning LeBron, even though LeBron had nothing to do with it. But Zay, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you giving a non-bias, because, apparently I might be biased. I might be biased over here, but we got another opinion, guys, so I don't think I am. I don't think I'm biased right now. We got 2 agreeing points. Maybe we could add more people in the future to talk about the same topic, but for right now, we have a similar agreement about Kevin Durant. We're just going to leave it like that. All right, Zay. It was a pleasure talking to you. We'll keep in touch. I might be using you again sometime in the future.
Don't hesitate, please.
All right, man.